Hi everyone, my name's Maya and this is my makeup, beauty and lifestyle channel.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone's doing well. So today we're going to be doing theatrical stage makeup on my beautiful model Annie. So starting off, we're going to be doing foundation first. So since Annie has a beautiful Celtic skin tone, I'm going to be mixing two different types of foundation. Especially with stage makeup, it's very important to get your skin tone foundation match right before you do anything else. So I've mixed two foundations together, so I'm just going to apply it to her face using a clean finger. As I've mixed the foundation on the back of my hand, also a clean hand. You need to make sure when you're working with a client that all of your tools and your hands are completely clean. And now I'm just going to blend this with a Real Techniques buffing brush. And I'm just going to go in gentle motions as you don't want to be too rough with your client's face. And make sure before you apply any base products to your skin, so that could be concealer or foundation or powders, make sure that you moisturize your skin beforehand. This helps to add a glowy finish and to also make sure that your client's face isn't too dry for the makeup to be put on top of. And now I'm just going to finish blending with a sponge, and I'm using a damped sponge just with a bit of cold water, as this helps the makeup to be pressed into the skin. So now I'm just adding a little bit more foundation to the skin wherever needs a little bit more coverage, and I'm just applying this using a foundation brush. And now I'm just going to be blending it in again with the same buffing brush, and then following on, still using the sponge again. Now I've finished blending the foundation, so next I'm going to be taking a concealer on a flat concealer brush and just adding it into the areas that I feel need highlighting. So under the eyes, the chin, the bridge of the nose and the forehead. And I'm just going to be lightly brushing it onto the skin as we're going to be blending it in just now with a sponge. And now I'm going to be blending the concealer in with a sponge. Just lightly bouncing it into the skin and then very lightly bouncing it in underneath the eyes. And then I'm just going to be applying whatever's left on the sponge or the concealer over the eye. So that is the concealer all blended. Now I will be applying a light cream toned eyeshadow underneath Annie's eye to set the concealer in place. And just lightly dusting this underneath the eye. Now I'm going to be adding a translucent setting powder to the face to make sure that the makeup lasts throughout the entire stage performance, as well as helping everything blend better on top. Now I'm going to be applying some bronzer to the apples and the cheekbones of her face. This is just to warm up her complexion. And usually you'll have a dress rehearsal before an actual performance, so the makeup needs to last throughout the entire thing. And especially underneath the stage, the lights can be very hot, so your makeup can tend to sweat off quite easily. So I'm just applying this to her forehead as well, and then a little bit on her nose and on her chin, just underneath her chin. I'm now going to be contouring her cheekbones, so applying a cool toned brown shadow underneath her cheekbones to contour her face. And when you're blending the contour, you want to blend it upwards and not blend it too much towards the mouth. As the last step of doing the face, I'm now going to be applying some blusher to the apples of her cheeks. And this needs to be quite bold, as you need to be able to see the colors of her cheeks from the back of the arena. So I have finished doing the face. I'm now going to be starting with the eyes. So moving on to the eyebrows first, I'm going to be brushing the eyebrows up, just with any eyebrow brush, or a spoolie will also do really well. And this just helps to apply the product in the eyebrow hairs in the correct place. Now I'm going to be using a shade that is one shade lighter than her hair color. And it's very important to get the eyebrow color right as well, as you need it to match the hair. And I'm just going to be taking this on an angled brush. Close your eyes for me. And applying this into the eyebrows. Moving on to the eyeshadow part, I'm now going to be taking a light cream toned eyeshadow and applying that all over her eyelid, just on a eyeshadow shading brush. This is just to set the base in place, and it makes it easier to blend the eyeshadows on top. Next, I'm going to be taking a cool toned dark brown eyeshadow, and I'm just going to be applying this in the crease, mimicking the shape I did on this eye. Close your eye for me. Now I'm going to be blending that eyeshadow further up to the brow bone, and I'm just taking a small blending brush and very small circular motions. Close your eyes for me. And you just want to blend the top line. Now I'm going to be taking a shade slightly lighter than the one before on the same blending brush and just applying that where I was blending, and just again in small circular motions to blend it out. And taking a lighter brown shadow than the last one we applied, again, the same area, just on the top. I'm now going to be going back to the dark color that we used first on the first small flat shadow brush and applying that again in the crease, just to deepen the edges. And going back to the blending brush and just blending that out. I'm now going to be cutting the crease using a flat concealer brush and some concealer. Any light colored concealer will work. Cut this part here, so lay out where you're going to apply it and just go over the edge. Next, I will be applying a shimmery white or cream toned eyeshadow on top of the concealer. Close your eyes to me. And this is to make your facial features appear larger, and so the people in the back of the arena or theatre can see them. Now I'm going to be applying a pressed pigment. This is the MAC Angelic pressed pigment, and it's just any sort of white, very glittery eyeshadow. Close your eyes for me, and I'm just going to pack that in the same place where I applied the concealer. And this is going to highlight the center of the eye and the eyelid, making the eyes appear bigger. And as you can see, there is quite a bit of fallout, so the eyeshadow has come down to the face, but we'll dust that off now. Just dusting off any eyeshadow that's fallen down. Now going back into the brown eyeshadow and taking a dark brown eyeshadow that we started with on the fluffy brush again, fluffy eyeshadow blending brush. Close your eyes for me, and just diffusing that line a little bit. After this, we are going to be taking a gel liner. I find that using a gel liner for this is a lot easier than a liquid liner, as I can use an angled brush and the gel eyeliner makes it easier to apply. So on an angled brush, I'm just going to be taking a little bit of eyeliner on the edge of the brush. You don't want to overload the brush with eyeliner, as it can then smudge and you can get it on places that you don't want to. And now I'm just going to apply it in a winged shape to mimic what I did on this side. And you want to take it quite far out, but not completely meet the edge of the eyeshadow on top. And I'm just going to lift her brow bone slightly, just to get a clean line. Okay, and again, just going back in with the eyeliner and the angled brush, and I'm just going to thicken this part of the eyeliner. And again, now going back into the eyeliner, and I'm going to be finishing the liner on top. Close your eyes for me. So just drawing a line from the inner corner to meet the edge of this liner. And just lifting the skin of her eye a little bit. Again, just to get a clean line. I'm now going to be creating the inner corner line here, again on the other eye. And for this, you want the client to look down and at the opposite angle of where you're going to be applying the eyeliner. So look over here for me. And you're going to flip the brush so it's facing this way. And you're basically just going to stamp it on, just like that. So then you can create the line. And then you're going to flip it around this way and flick it down. And then flipping it again the other way, like that. Now we're going to be moving on to the lower part of the eye underneath the lower lash line. And we're going to be taking a dark brown shade that we used before and the flat eyeshadow brush. And we're going to be mimicking what we did on this side. So just look up for me. And again, taking a dark coloured eyeshadow and going back in underneath the lower lash line. Look up for me. I'm just darkening it slightly. Next, I'm going to be blending the eyeshadow that I just applied underneath the lower lash line with a small shadow blending brush. Look up for me. And just diffusing the very edge of the line down here. After this, I'm now going to be taking a angled brush and the same pressed pigment or the white shimmery eyeshadow that we used before on the eyelid, and I'm just going to be taking it on the inner corner in between the dark shadow and the black eyeliner. So close your eyes for me. And I'm just going to be pressing it in the middle. And again, just taking the same pressed pigment or the light coloured eyeshadow, close your eyes for me, and just applying it on the outer corner in between the eyeliner and the dark coloured eyeshadow. The eyeshadow is now finished, so we're going to be moving on to applying false eyelashes. Now with false eyelashes, firstly, you need to make sure that you measure the lashes to fit your client's eyes. So you want to basically measure the eyelashes by, close your eyes for me, just placing the lashes on their lash band, just like that. And then you want to alter it so that the beginning of the lash band meets the beginning of where their natural eyelashes would start. And then finish it where the outer part of the eyelashes naturally would start to where the false eyelashes also would end. And when you cut the eyelashes, you never want to cut the first part off, as that's going to take away the flutteriness of the outer part. So you want to cut the outer side of the eyelashes. Now we are going to be applying some eyelash glue to the lash band of the false eyelashes. So holding the eyelashes in the middle with tweezers, I find it's easier to apply false eyelashes on a client as well as on myself by holding the eyelashes with tweezers. Depends on if you prefer using your fingers or using your tweezers. It's basically just down to personal preference. And you're just going to apply quite a thick line of glue on the lash band. And make sure you cover the entire lash band, as you want these eyelashes to stay on throughout the whole performance. There's nothing more irritating than having eyelashes that are poking you in the eye because they're falling off. And now we are just going to wait for the glue to set and to get ticky. I'm now just letting the eyelash glue get tacky so that we can stick it onto the natural lash band. Now this is a very important part about applying false eyelashes. If you don't allow the glue to get tacky, your eyelashes will then slide all over the place on your eye and they won't stick down properly. Close your eyes for me. So now they are slightly tacky and we're just going to be applying it on her lash band. So you're going to place it middle part down first and then adjust the end and lightly push it down and then pull it along and apply it to the inner corner. And you're going to make sure your client keeps their eyes closed while the lashes are sticking down. And you're just going to lightly press against the edge of the lashes so it goes into the skin or onto the lash band. So the eyes are now complete, and whilst your client is keeping her eyes closed and allowing the lashes to stick to her natural eyelash band, I'm going to be applying her lipstick. So firstly, just applying some lip balm on a lip brush to her lips. And before I apply any lip product, I always prefer to apply lip balm first, as this helps the lip liner glide on much smoothly. And now taking a red lip liner and just marking out the edge of her lips. And this makes it easier to apply the lipstick on afterwards. And just drawing a line on the bottom lip and then just filling it in. And now you're going to get your client to open her eyes, but you're going to guide her eyes just in case any of the glue is sticking to her lower lashes. So open your eyes for me. And you're just going to lightly just pull the skin a little bit to loosen any glue that's sticking to her lower lashes. And make sure that your client is feeling okay. Are you okay? Is anything poking you anywhere? Are they just feeling a little bit heavy? Okay. So if anything is poking her anywhere, you will then need to take off the eyelash and reapply it. Now I'm just going to be finishing off her lipstick with some red lipstick and just applying that to the center of the lips and going over the lip line slightly just to make it a lot more bold and opaque. We're now moving on to mascara. So to blend in the false eyelashes with the natural eyelashes, we're just going to apply a little bit of mascara. So look down for me and just lift the brow slightly. And you don't need to add too much mascara as we have false eyelashes on. This is just so the two can blend. And sometimes you may make a mistake and get mascara on the inner corner or on the skin anywhere. Don't touch that, leave that, and then we'll go back to that and flick it off with an earbud at the end. So I'm going to take a small, fluffy blending brush to apply the highlighter. Turn your head slightly that way for me. And we're going to be applying this to the high points of her cheekbones, tip of her nose, and the bridge of her nose. And now Annie is going to be seeing her face for the first time. Are you happy?
Yes.
I'm glad.